On January 29, 2017, Navy SEALs from SEAL Team 6 prepared to assault a fortified compound in Yemen's Yakla region. Their targets, several high-ranking extremist operatives, including weapons experts who had trained the underwear bomber and plotted to attack cargo planes with printer cartridge explosives. Intelligence indicated these men were finalizing plans for attacks on American airliners, operations that could claim hundreds of innocent lives within weeks. Among the operators conducting final weapon checks on board the Osprey was Senior Chief Petty Officer William Ryan Owens, a 36-year-old father of 3 on his 12th deployment. A Silver Star recipient who'd spent his career in the world's most dangerous places, Owens had promised his wife Corinne that this would be one of his last missions before transitioning to training younger SEALs. But this mission was already unraveling. The raid had been approved over dinner rather than through formal channels. Intelligence vastly underestimated enemy strength. Instead of 50 fighters, over 100 awaited, and hundreds more were on the way. Most critically, as the Ospreys approached, enemy spotters gave them a heads up. They'd lost the element of surprise. To make matters worse, the primary target, Qasim al-Raymi, wasn't even there. What started as a precision strike was becoming a trap where mechanical failures, intelligence gaps, and political pressure would soon lead to American casualties. This wasn't just another extremist group. They're the innovators, the ones Western intelligence agencies lose sleep over. While others use truck bombs, they hide explosives in anything, printer cartridges, underwear, even surgically implanted bombs. Their chief bomb maker, Ibrahim al-Asiri, made taking out Americans his life's work. By 2017, they controlled huge swaths of Yemen, where they kept the population controlled through fear and intimidation. Their latest plan, intercepted through intelligence channels, involved simultaneous attacks on transatlantic flights. Hundreds of lives hung in the balance unless stopped. But Yakla wasn't just their weekend retreat. It was tribal territory controlled by the al-Dahab clan, who commanded 800 fighters and had complex loyalties. The village they controlled sat in contested territory where Houthis, government forces, and extremists of all creeds battled for control. Locals had already repelled Houthi attacks that week. Any foreign incursion would trigger an immediate tribal response, regardless of the target. American planners either didn't know or didn't care about these dynamics. A fatal oversight that would turn a surgical strike into a disaster. The raid approval came during a dinner at the White House on January 25. Unlike previous administrations' detailed situation room briefings with representatives from state CIA and NSC, President Trump approved the mission between courses as Defense Secretary Mattis and General Dunford outlined the plan. National Security Advisor Michael Flynn pushed hard, telling Trump that capturing al-Raymi would distinguish him from Obama's hesitancy. What they didn't mention, al-Raymi wasn't confirmed to even be there. The mission required MV-22 Ospreys for one critical reason: distance. The USS Macon Island sat over 100 miles off Yemen's coast. The target lay deep in mountainous terrain with no airfields. Only the Osprey's unique tilt-rotor design could make the 90-minute flight and land vertically in rough terrain. But Ospreys had a dark history. Complex gearboxes prone to catastrophic failure in dozens of training accidents. This was officially a sensitive site exploitation mission, military speak for grabbing intelligence before the enemy could destroy it. The plan demanded speed, 30 minutes maximum on target before tribal militias could mobilize and swarm them. The tactical challenges didn't look much better. The moonless night provided concealment but limited visibility. The nearest medical facility was the Macon Island, 90 minutes away. Any severely wounded man probably wouldn't make it before reaching surgery. Most critically, they were hitting the al-Dahab clan's home turf, where one radio call could summon 800 armed tribesmen within minutes. The 40-man team assembled aboard USS Macon Island included Ryan Owens as senior enlisted advisor, plus Arabic linguists, explosive breachers, and combat medics. The assault plan? 2 Ospreys insert, establish security, breach compounds, eliminate threats, collect intelligence, and extract before enemy reinforcements arrive. However, the rushed approval process resulted in critical gaps. No abort criteria in place if compromised, no accurate assessment of enemy strength, and no plan for the inevitable tribal response. It was like playing in Vegas, where the house knew all your cards. What happened next? We can't show it all here without YouTube slapping this video with a warning. But we can show you on Patreon. To watch the full-length video completely uncensored, subscribe to my Patreon page, where there are no restrictions on what we can tell and show you there. Scan the code or use the link in the description now to watch the full video. 0130 hours, January 29. 2 MV-22 Ospreys launched from USS Macon Island into the moonless Yemen night. Inside DevGrew's lead aircraft, Senior Chief Ryan Owens moves through the cabin, checking his operators one final time. Through his headset, he monitors updates from orbiting drones. 0 to 45 hours. The pilot calls out, 2 minutes out.
Roger that.
The Osprey transitions to helicopter mode as its rotors tilt from a horizontal to a vertical position. That's when everything goes wrong. They begin picking up chatter in Arabic. One of the dozens of spotters around the village has heard them coming and radioed ahead to call the cavalry. They're beyond compromised. The team leader faces an impossible choice. Abort and let mass casualty planners scatter, or continue into what's now certainly an ambush. He looks at Owens, who simply nods. They've come too far. There is too much at stake. We're going in, Owens says. The Ospreys flare hard, dust clouds billowing beneath them. Before the ramps fully lower, muzzle flashes erupt from a dozen positions. Green tracers arc through the night and ping off the ramps before they even lower. The first operator off takes 2 rounds to his armor plates, the impacts spinning him but not dropping him to the ground. The second man out screams into the radio. Contact front, contact right, contact everywhere. They're caught in a devastating crossfire. Enemy fighters have taken positions on rooftops behind walls and inside windows. The volume of fire is overwhelming. Rounds crack past so close, operators feel the air against their faces. As the SEALs hit the dirt and begin returning fire, the point man suddenly calls out, 2-3 with RPGs, northwest corner, 150 meters. The point man's laser paints targets invisible to enemy eyes. Roger, engaging. Owens calls out. Controlled pairs drop the threats and their launchers fall into the dirt. But soon, another one picks them up before getting cut down again. For every fighter neutralized, 2 more seem to materialize from doorways, spider holes, and behind livestock pens to take their place. The first Osprey attempts to lift off but lurches sickeningly. Warning alarms scream as the pilot fights for control. The complex gearbox that allows the aircraft to transition between flight modes is failing catastrophically. The aircraft slams back to Earth, throwing crew members against bulkheads. 3 men are injured. The $70 million aircraft is now a sitting duck. Owens leads his team toward the main compound walls through withering fire. The breacher races forward to place charges, rounds impacting the concrete inches from his hands. With charges set, he calls out, breaching! The explosion tears meter-wide holes through reinforced concrete. The assault teams flow through in seconds, eager to get out of the open courtyard they landed in. Inside the compound, chaos reigns. Women and children flee in all directions, screaming. Some run toward the operators, others away. In the darkness and confusion, every movement could be a threat. The rules of engagement are clear, but in these seconds, they have just milliseconds to decide if that form running towards them in the dark is friendly or not. Suddenly, a door bursts open, and several figures emerge. The lead operator sees several women, but something's wrong. Bulky vests are visible beneath their clothing. The distinctive outline wiring of explosive devices is clear. They're walking directly toward the Americans with just one goal in mind. Tango ahead, get down, he screams. But the warning comes too late. The explosion throws the operators backward. Shrapnel tears through the air, and concrete becomes deadly projectiles. 2 operators are wounded but mobile, their armor absorbing most of the blast. The operators drop the second one before she can trigger hers. They return to their feet, their ears ringing, and continue the mission. Chief Owens reaches the main building. Intelligence indicated the Al-Dahab brothers meet here, planning operations that would fill morgues across 3 continents. His team stacks on the door. Owens takes point, always leading from the front. Moving, he yells. He crosses the threshold of the door into a wall of automatic weapons fire. Multiple fighters inside have created interlocking fields of fire. Owens engages, his rifle spitting controlled pairs. One fighter drops, then another. But there are too many, too well positioned. A burst catches Owens in the side where the plates don't overlap. That fatal gap every operator knows exists. But praise will never matter. He drops immediately, his weapon clattering across the floor. The man behind him screams, Chief's hit, medic up! His team drags him to cover while others clear the room with ruthless efficiency. The medic goes to work, but the wounds are severe. Owens locks eyes with the medic. They'd served together in Somalia and saved each other's lives before. The medic sees the damage and knows the math. Owens mouths something. Might be tell Karen, might be get the intel, might be nothing at all. Whatever it was, only God knows what he really said. Outside, the disabled Osprey crew makes a hard choice. They can't let sensitive technology fall into enemy hands. After destroying classified equipment, they prepare to evacuate and set charges on the aircraft. An airstrike will later turn what is left into twisted metal, denying the enemy any intelligence value. As the team clears the compound, Enemy reinforcements pour in from surrounding villages. What started as dozens of fighters is soon over 100. RPGs begin impacting around the compound, explosions shaking the ground. Enemy casualties are steadily mounting, but more fighters keep coming. The team consolidates at a casualty collection point. Despite heroic efforts, Chief Owens succumbs to his wounds. The warrior who'd survived 12 deployments, who'd earned the Silver Star in Somalia, who'd promised his wife just one more mission, is gone. Time of death, 0347 hours. The intelligence collection continues under fire. Operators stuff hard drives, phones, and documents into bags. Every piece could prevent an attack and save innocent lives. This is what Owens gave his life for, denying the enemy the ability to harm innocents. 0415 hours, the backup Osprey arrives for extraction. Enemy fire intensifies as fighters realize the Americans are leaving. Rounds punch through the aircraft's skin as operators carry their fallen brother aboard. They lift off into a storm of tracers, climbing desperately for altitude and safety. As Yakla disappears beneath them, the operators sit in shocked silence. They've accomplished the mission, intelligence secured, threats neutralized, but the cost weighs heavier than their equipment. Ryan Owens is going home to his family, but not the way he promised. The aftermath of the Yakla raid reverberates through military and political circles. Chief Petty Officer William Ryan Owens is posthumously promoted to Senior Chief and awarded additional honors for his actions. His sacrifice marks him as the first American service member lost in combat under the Trump administration. 3 separate Pentagon investigations were launched: a routine operational review, a civilian casualty assessment, and an inquiry into the Osprey's aviation mishap. The investigation would reveal systemic failures, including outdated intelligence assessments, a lack of contingency planning for the tribal response, and a command climate that prioritized speed over preparation. One investigator privately noted, "This looked more like a raid planned in PowerPoint than reality." General Joseph Votel, CENTCOM commander, ultimately takes full responsibility while maintaining that the mission achieved its objectives. But for Owens' family, that was too little too late. Bye for now.